Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started, please. My name is Ray, last name is Reynolds. My ultimate goal is to help you get what I call pass go and get you to $1 million corporation and make sure you achieve the American dream. So let's understand something. I'd like you to get a tablet and a pen. All right, please write things down. Don't just take a picture. This information is protected, most of it, and what I want you to do is get it up here versus in your cell phone. It's very crucial. Now, you got to realize in life, no matter what we do, all right, you've got to plan on problems. We all experience them no matter what. We all get knocked down. What we got to do is plan on the problems. Okay, there's always something that goes wrong. Plan on it. All right, I want to have you write down safety credit. Safety credit is a way you can always have a backup for a backup. So as we do this, it's like basically the line of defense. So I'd like you to write that down as well. So on that tablet and pen. Let's remember something. Getting past go because people get stuck. All right, we all get stuck, and what happens is we ask our friends and our family sometimes, and what do? They kind of get in the way. And I don't want that to happen to you. So the reality is this. It's like, for instance, my favorite car is a Lamborghini. Okay, got one when I was a kid, and what I want to do is always have the rules and the tools. And that's where I'm going to come in and help you as much as I can. So the ultimate goal today, the world is changing. All right, it's changing. You just have to deal with it. You got to stay safe and strong. Remember, we must do our best. At the end of the day, Jesus must do the rest. Now, 43 years of doing seminars, workshops, and boot camps, literally 6 to 7 days a week. And I always have people tell me they're running out of time or they can't find it. So let's see if I can help you find some time. All right, you see, tomorrow morning, I'd like you to get up at 4:30 in the morning. Get up every day earlier than you usually do. What happens is most millionaires and billionaires are up at 4:30 in the morning every day. Now you found some time. I'd like you to get ready to run with me. In other words, we're going to have some fun, but we're going to accomplish the American dream. Getting to know me, getting to know us. Pretty simple. What I want you to do is realize there's no such thing as a magic wand. You're going to have to be a qualified CFO. So write it down, a qualified CFO for you, your family, and for a corporation to get the dream. Now, next thing I'd like you to write down is the Credit Services Act. So please write down the Credit Services Act. And what you're going to find out later on when you Google it, it'll take you to the Federal Trade Commission. The Federal Trade Commission is going to tell you that credit repair is a scam. They're going to tell you flat out no one can collect money up front, and they're usually just writing silly letters to the computer, to the credit bureaus. Kind of like some of you have done in the past. It really didn't work. The next is going to reference you to the Credit Repair Organization Act. And what happens is in that it'll tell you attorneys can't repair credit. But I hear all the time attorneys saying I can bankrupt you and I can repair you. I don't really get that, to be honest with you. So what I'd like you to do is build a relationship with me and us, and let's get you to the dreams, because people usually get stuck. So that means I'm going to personally hold your hand. Let's keep in mind, I broadcast twice a day, Monday through Friday, and all day Saturday. I've done this for 43 years. So you got the ability. But we got to do this. I'd like to repackage your whole life. When you get into the workshops with me on Saturday, all right, we're going to go through so many more things. See, Ray's rules, there's 20,000 of these. Today, I'll give you a bunch of the rules and the tools that you've been missing. But let me repackage you flat out. Now, credit saved my life as a child. When I was a kid, I had to steal and beg off the pier. That's not nice, but I had to do it. And from there, in 2009, I found myself in a coma with swine flu pneumonia. So credit has saved my life twice. So I want you to think about something today, and we're going to call it safety credit. You see, every one of us always talk about having money for that rainy day. I don't know about you, but my life doesn't rain, it always pours. So I've got to be prepared. So I want you to do the same thing. Now, as we do this, keep in mind, there's always a time when we need some money. Let's think about something today. If you lose your job or your income, you run out of time, you run out of money, and then basically you jacked up your credit, and about 42 days later, guess what happens? You brought the pain home. That's called silly. So what I'd like you to do is think about this. You need $5,000. You ask your friends, your family, you ask the bank. And usually they say no. Well, that's not nice, but guess what? If I gave you a safety credit card for $5,000 and you had to max it out, the payment is only $50 a month. So I want you to write down safety credit today, please. I want you to understand you're no different than me. I just found a way to map it out and make sure I have the rules and the tools. So let's understand something. Today, all right, everybody talks about how they kind of waste $100 a week. If you realize that, that's 4.3 weeks in a month. That's over $600 in a month. So let's say this. What if I gave you a $50,000 credit card and you maxed it out? The payment is $612.26. So what I'm trying to tell you by having safety credit, and you're not wasting money anymore. You could have got a pizza. You could have started a business. I want you to stop wasting money. You see, we're getting older, slower. We're not as pretty as we used to be. If we can focus, I can get you to $1 million, and if you like, I can probably get you to $1 billion too. But again, I want you to plan this. Let's understand. Plan on the problems, because we all have them. There's always something that goes wrong. But if you got safety credit, and you have set up the line of defense, which I'll show you what that means, you'll have the ability to stop counting your pennies and start building your life. And that's the ultimate goal. See, this is 2020. That means we can, this year, in the next 6 months, we can turn around, all right, and go get $1 million corporation and dream. I'd like to help you there. So let's do this. On that piece of paper, that tab and pen I told you to go get, please write down SSN. You see, we all got an SSN when we got our first job years ago, usually when we were a teenager. What that means is simple. We have one. That gives us the ability to be the duck. The reality is, I'd like you to write down Ray's rules. Okay? If you live by the rules and the tools, you always have a safety. So if I give you $100,000 as a credit, that's right, I know it's kind of crazy, but I'd like to give you $100,000 of credit. I don't want you to use more than 29%. You have to understand, you drive the credit score by going up and down by maxing out a card. This would give you $71,000 of safety credit. That's the ability in case there's a pandemic, in case you lose your job, you can buy time. You see, I'd rather play catch up than fall down. I don't want to bring the pain home. Now, I've watched people for 43 years take money and credit from the family and roll the dice in what they've done to start a business. Every time they hurt the family, and they bring the pain home. I'd like you to write this down today and make sure you don't do that ever again. You have the ability to get to the rules and tools. Now, there's me in 2009. All right, I'm worth millions and billions of dollars. I'm retired, helping people through my books and CDs. And guess what? I found myself with a swine flu and pneumonia, pandemic number 9. Reality is this. There's my corporate yacht and race boat at the time. You see, for me, I was the second largest advertiser in Los Angeles for 32 years. All right, and I had fun helping people. I brought in all the money. It's fun. I brought in 100,000, I brought in $1 million, I brought in a double billion by the time I was 26. But I didn't do it through me. I did it through the corporate structure, because that's how rich and famous people do it. So let's understand something. There's me in a coma. I didn't plan on it. My life got destroyed. I had to rebuild it again. You have the ability today. We all go through bad times. So there's me with HNN1. It's called swine flu pneumonia. So I'd like you to do something today. I'd like to say, please wear a mask. You see, I've been through this. My life got destroyed. After I got out of the coma, within 90 days, I built millions of dollars of credit again. We can get through this as long as we do it right. I don't want you to find that you've hurt someone in your family. Because guess what? You got one chance. We get one chance. We don't get a do-over now. You can live or you can die. That's as flat as it gets. So you have a choice. COVID-19 can wipe us all out. Please wear a mask. You might be saving somebody next to you. You see, comfortable? I've never been comfortable a day in my life. Okay, I've always wanted to basically go get it, and I did that. But the thing is, when you steal and have to beg off the pier and you don't have a family, what are you supposed to do? I never got comfortable. So today, I'd like you to do me a favor. You see, here's the thing you need to do. Every morning when I wake up at 2:25, I drop to my knees and I thank God for another day. Then I go look in the mirror. You see, what I like to do is stop time. When I look in the mirror, don't brush your teeth, don't comb your hair, just stare at yourself. Try it, please. I've been doing this since I was a kid. When I look in the mirror for about 2 minutes, all right, I ask myself 2 questions. Have I completed everything I need to? Is there more to be done? You see, you have to put yourself in check. But a lot of times what you do is you go to your friends and your family. You tell them you got an idea or something you want to do. You ever notice they kind of put things down? And what do? You kind of give up? No. I need you to do me a favor. I'd like for the next 90 days for you not to say a word. I want you to shh. Don't tell anybody around you what you're going to do. That's all I want you to do. Give me 90 days. Every one of you has spent thousands of dollars, all right, in your life to try to get to pass go or to create what you want as the dream. And what happens is you needed someone like me. See, I've been there. I know how to get the millions and the billions. I haven't had a paycheck for a couple decades. I don't want one, don't need one. But I do need to change the world, and that's what I'm trying to do, flat out. So give me 90 days, and I'll basically get you to where you want to go. I'll even guarantee it in writing. I want you chasing the money, chasing the dream. I love money. See, money, I can feed my family. I can pay my bills. I don't have to worry about begging and stealing off the pier. So I have the ability to do this. Now, if you go back to the job you hate, all right, it's okay. We're all getting older, slower. We're not as pretty as we used to be. Eventually, they will fire you, and then you're going to drive an Uber and going to live with some pizza. I don't think that's really the American dream, but that's kind of up to you. You see, winning the game of business, I wrote that book 43 years ago. To me, I had to turn this into a game as a kid because I wanted to win. So write down winning the game of business, and I'll show you what I mean through this overview. You see, I'm asking you to give me 90 days. That's all I need. I will get you on your way to the $1 million dream. I'll even guarantee it. You see, in the 90 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild your credit, rapid refresh, credit line. I'm going to set up the corporation the way I did when I was a kid, book CDs and me in the classes. So I broadcast twice a day, Monday through Friday, and all day Saturday. I've literally stood there for 43 years, all right, literally 6 to 7 days a week trying to help people. All right, the bottom line is I like to help you get to the American dream. I want you to pay your bills, and I want you to have everything you've ever wanted. But again, with me, there's 4 points of income. First, we can fix up a property and make some money, or we can invest. So if we want to do real estate today, we can make millions of dollars. But we have to do it under the corporate structure. That's where the classes come in. From there, I want you to think about a franchise. See, today we watch McDonald's talk about Wendy's when they find the beef. They get to stay open through COVID-19. Next thing, think about profit sharing. Now, we also have 84 ways to leverage money. You see, I could turn this into $1 million to $1 billion. There's 84 ways to leverage money, and I used to be the incorporator for all you rich and famous. That's kind of fun. A lot of my companies and a lot of the clients are millions and billionaires today because they listen to the rules and the tools. So today, here's a company car. You see, what do? You see people out there that ride off cars. You see rich and famous drive company cars. They ride it off. Unfortunately, what most people do is they get a paycheck. That means it's taxed before they get the leftover. And then they pay for a car that actually could be under the corporate structure. And then they take money from the family and then they roll the dice. Every time that happens, you bring the pain home. I'd like you to do me a favor. All right? Write down bring the pain home because I want to make sure you don't do it again. I want you to have the ability. You see, right now, you're using your paycheck to pay the payment, the gas, the registration, and the insurance. From now on, we're going to say the word no. I want you to drive a corporate car. I want you to drive a corporate car. All right, get to my classes, get to my workshops. I'm going to make sure you get a corporate car. I want to make sure the corporation writes it off. I want you to have your dream car, whatever it might be. Again, I want you to focus on cash flow, free up your time. The bottom line is we need cash flow, free up our time, and get the life that God promises called the abundance. No matter what I went through as a kid, He always opened the door for me. All right, and I got millions and billions. So the bottom line is I had my faith and my persistence. Today, we're going to make sure we learn to master Ray's rules. The Ray Reynolds University was set up decades ago. There's a phone number. I'd like you to write it down. It's 877-519-7509. Ray's rules. There's 20,000 of these. I like to build a relationship with you in dreams because why? I've done it for millions and millions of people for 43 years. This is a profit company. We always go for the money. All right, then we decide what we're going to do. Now, I'd like you to write down, never bring the pain home. I'm serious. We've all done this. I had to move 24 times the time I was 11 and a half. That was no fun for me at all. So there's a science behind all this madness, and you just have to run and write the rules. And I'll show you how to do this. Please, get out your Social Security card. It's in your purse or wallet. All right, most of you haven't even read the card front and back. Today, I need you to listen. I need you to learn. The card will say, do not laminate, do not use for ID purposes. It'll say it's not even yours. I heard that 9/10 of the law's possession is yours, but it says the property of Social Security Administration. You see, the United States government bonds each one of us with a Social Security number for $35 million apiece. And that's how the game is played. So let's understand, if you listen and learn Ray's rules, I'll show you how to have a backup for a backup. You see, you have only one SSN. And what happens most of the time, sorry to say, you bring the pain home. You got one chance not to mess up. Reference to the Federal Trade Commission says 98% are messed up today. Could be a couple of you. Let's see if we can fix you. So let's understand today. If you're watching me on Google or Facebook or basically YouTube, the reality is this: you're not getting the full overview in front of me. There's a PowerPoint that people get to see. So you might want to think about go to rayswebinar.com and get the full overview. Now, I need you to write down SS4 times 4. Go get the paper and the tablet if you don't have it yet. SS4 times 4. You see, you need a corporation. If you have one, you probably haven't done much with it. They do say 98 or actually 96%. They set it up and do nothing. They don't know what's next. I'd like to be your next. Number one, please don't name it after you because that's called dumb. Don't name it after what it does. That's double dum-dum. What we got to do is set up the line of defense. Can you write that down, please? You've got to have the line of defense because there's always something going to go wrong. You've got to count on it. See, if you plan for the problem, you can make sure you get around it and get through it, but it's going to be up to you. I'd like you to have a division for real estate, franchise, current business. Now, here's the thing with me. As an affiliate, I get to build you credit, all right, under the tax ID, $100,000 to $1 million. If you have more divisions, I can get you $400,000 to $4 million. How much credit would you like to finance the dream? Well, let's remember something, and this is the greatest thing you can learn from me. Corporate credit, you can write off the interest rate on the card for legitimate transactions. You can't do that for you. Remember, I already told you I like to give you $100,000 of personal credit. Don't use more than 29%. Have safety credit. I don't want you to hurt your family. I don't want you to bring the pain home. So I want you to have that safety credit put aside. That's for the family. So please write down Ray's rules. I created something that I needed when I was a kid. You see, I kept researching and trying to figure things out. I was looking for a book, looking for a blueprint, looking for some instructions. It didn't exist then, it doesn't exist now. But I did create the one that I have for you. See, you got a choice today. It's SSN or SS4. You get one of these you can have as many as you want to, based on the divisions and subsidiaries you set up. So let's think about something today. There's our previous president, shaking hands with the vice president, and they're having fun. You can see the smile on their face. You see, Nixon took the gold standard out years ago. And since they have the key to the printing press, they just keep printing money. That's how we're in debt. Let's remember something flat out today. Every time a woman delivers a baby at the hospital, she's got to sign an SSN form within 12 hours or less. You see, we got ours when we got our first job as a teenager. But because they keep printing money, every baby's got to have an SSN before they're released from the hospital with 12 hours or less. If not, the baby can't go in the car seat, stroller, and can't go home. So you got to master the rules and the tools. That's why you got me for. So let's understand something today. You got one SSN, one chance to mess up. Unfortunately today, we all bring the pain home because we don't know any better sometimes. But an SS4 times 4, we got the ability to create the line of defense. Can you write that down, please? You see, the goal is this. All right, we know something's always going to go wrong. Plan on the problems. They're going to happen. From there, all right, there's always something that's going to go wrong. You got to plan on it. But the best thing you can do is write down safety credit and the line of defense. You have the ability to get past go and don't have anybody knock you down. But all I can tell you is I can get you through it. I don't want you to ever be the duck. Unfortunately, you've done that in the past. So that means your SSN for personal credit, that's for the family. We put it aside. We don't want the corporation to have a problem because we don't want to start over. That's why we create an SS4 times 4. You see, what we want to do is have a corporation with a tax ID, division with tax ID. All right? Every division. You see, here's the thing. If you file a bankruptcy, hypothetical, personal is SSN, corporation is SS4. It's like, who wants to be the duck? I don't want you to bring the pain home. Don't you understand that? We can't do that anymore. We must create the line of defense. We have the ability to go get the American dream. Understand something. Credit cards get you credit score. Credit score gets you more like house and car. A house and a car do nothing for your credit report besides look pretty, unless you mess them up. Please don't mess them up. All you got to do is listen. Ray's rules is 29%. If you take a card past 29%, you drop your score. See, you control the heartbeat. You know, when I worked with Ken Yarbrough, all right, years ago, he was the security chief at TRW and Asperian, all right, and Harold Stokes. We had some fun. Created something called basically Rapid for Scoring, all right, helped the mortgage companies. We talked about credit boosts and all kinds of fun stuff as well. So you got the ability. I've been doing this for 43 years. Now, God gave me another vision. He's been giving me vision since I was a kid. Rapid refresh. This is where I can take anybody's credit and push it up a couple hundred points. I'd like to do that for every one of you. Now, today, if we're going to look for a 720 or an 820, what I want to do is rebuild you. I want to do it my way, if that's okay. I want to make sure you can do exactly what I have done, brought in millions and billions. You got to be the qualified CFO. A 720 is going to cost you $499. If I add a rapid refresh to get you an 820, it's an additional $499. Today it's $998, but I want you to listen, all right? Because you came to the webinar, I want to help you even more. I want to hand you a $1,000 cash credit card at the end of the program. What I want you to do today, all right, because I want to get you through this as fast as we can, because that way this year you reach the American dream of $1 million corporation. Today, the offer is $499 for all of that. That's right, the $1,000 cash card, the rapid refresh to 820 and more. You got to realize, I'm an impatient person. In other words, I want to expedite the program for you. We're going to use Ray's rules and tools. It's going to be 90 days or less. You got 877-519-7509. Please write it down. All right, I'll get you done in 90 days or less. What we do, because we expedite everything we do, it's a Zelle, wire, or deposit. That way we can do as fast as possible for you. The ultimate thing is to realize there are some rules, there's some tools, there's a blueprint, there's instructions, and I'm going to do most of the work for you. If you allow me to, I'll do 98% for you. I might ask you to do one or two things. That's all you got to do. But you're stuck with me up to 6 days a week. You see, on Saturdays, I have my 8 classes. That means you're stuck with me, having fun, learning, but I'm doing all the work for you. I might ask you to do one or two things. You see, the status update, you get it through me. I don't pass the buck. So 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to call out your case number, never your name, and I'm going to say, hey, this is what I need you to do if there's one or two things at all. It's like the next client. I told him, hey, you crashed the Rapid twice, you jacked up your cards, I don't know what's wrong. You're not listening. And he says, I'm going to listen now. I said, good. All you got to do is take $726 and pay down the cards to 29%. Once he did that, he confirmed it. I confirmed it too. I threw in a rapid refresh, and I popped in well over 100,000 of credit. You see, I'm always going to be on point with you, and you're stuck with me. I don't pass the buck, but if I ask you to do one or two things, I need you to follow through. You see, if you want to make some money, we got clients that refer people all the time in the webinar. When they Zelle in, we basically Zelle back to them up to 20%. We have people that make up to $1,000 a day. Now, In history, we have to use some basically history, and we got to look at other companies as well. One of the things I look at is Walt Disney. We can all relate because we like Disneyland. In the past, they filed bankruptcy 7 times. Maybe a couple of you did that in the past. I don't know. You know what they did recently? They got $1 billion in the bank. They didn't want to pay tax. You see, remember I told you it's called winning the game of business. So instead of paying tax on $1 billion, they wrote an IOU to themselves. And then they broke even and paid no tax on $1 billion. I'm just trying to get you to listen to me, get you to the first $1 million. I hope and pray you let me do that for you. So the goal. Corporations only pay tax when they make a profit. So let's understand, and we can restructure, we can repackage you. Please write down borrow money's not taxable. Then I'd like you to add to it, do not spend money, loan money. I'll explain that through the overview. It's called raised rules. There's 20,000 of these. We'll get you to a multi-million-dollar company. Now remember, no matter what your credit says, whatever you do today, you can't write off your personal credit cards or your interest rates at all. So you're kind of stuck. But a corporation can. It can write off the card and the interest rate. It can have fun, but it's got to be a legitimate transaction, of course. So in other words, we can get 8 credit cards per division, 9 lines of credit, 8 supply cards, 10 vendor cards, 10 marketing cards, 10 lease cards, even gas cards and cash cards. So we have the ability to go get the American dream and kind of finance it on the minimum payment. You see, I'm an affiliate to 115 creditors. That means I get to see things you don't get to see. I get to pop credit using histories. And what that means is for you, corporation and division simultaneously. All I need to know is how much credit would you like. So let's understand a couple things. Today, remember that tablet and pen? You watch 3 boxes get float in front of you. Now write it down. I want you to set up a corporation. I want you to set up the line of defense. I'm going to hold your hand at the workshops, step 1 through. I'm going to show you from the setup class to level 1 how to set up the divisions and the corporate structure. You've got to have the line of defense because something can always go wrong. You have the ability to do this, but I need you to follow through. Now keep in mind, sometimes we have a problem with the division. Maybe we have a supplier, a creditor, maybe an employee, I don't know. But you're going to have to write down the 3-step. Can you do that for me, please? It's called the 3-step. So what we can do is disconnect, isolate, incorporate a division. We're going to try to save it. If we can't save it, we're probably going to bankrupt that piece. But we're not going to bring the pain home. All right, and we're going to realize that a corporation with the tax ID, all right, and division with the tax IDs, we can do the line of defense, the ability to do this right. So keep in mind today, if I'm going to pop you credit, I'm usually going to get you a $25,000 to $100,000 credit card. You're going to hear me say a lot of times 29% usage. If you got a $2,000 or $5,000 credit card, that's not a lot of use of money on that card. It's kind of hard. But if I get you a $25,000 to $100,000 card, I bet you that 29% won't be hard to manage at all. That's where I come in. You see, I want you to write credit and money, but then I want you to write 84 ways to play. We get to use this, I can turn it into millions to billions. Real estate, we got to basically fix it up or invest. Franchise, it's pretty simple. It's a McDonald's, a Taco Bell, or Wendy's when they find the beef, because guess what? They get to stay open through COVID-19. You got to focus on cash flow, free up your time. Let's understand something. When you bought a house, I don't know if you did it my way. If you didn't, I'd like you to write down and raise rules. You see, here's a problem we've got. Escrow works for you, but a lot of times you let them tell you what to do. I want you to focus and say escrow close, escrow homestead, escrow put it in a trust. Now today I need you to focus on something. The world's changing. We could all die. If we die and our house is not in a trust, that means it's stuck in a probate. If somebody sues us, they take it away. Today you can Google the word trust, you can file it right away, and you can protect your family. But that's kind of up to you. All right, all I can do is explain it to you. Now, if you're going to fix up a piece of property, it's kind of fun. But the problem is when you fix up the property, all right, some things can go wrong again. We have to plan for this. So when we hire that contractor that hires the subcontractors that's down outside Home Depot, good employees, Good workers, but here's the problem. You won the prize. Don't be surprised they cut every corner they can, and if they slip and fall, they sue you for everything you got. I want you not to be dumb. I want you to write some couple things down. Please write down, quitclaim deed the property to a division. You see, if you quitclaim deed it to a division, they can't sue you and hurt you and your family. You can do assignment of equity. So all this means at the end of the day, or if they try to sue you, they can't sue you, they sue the division and not you. And at the end of the day, they're going to get diddly squat. I'm always afraid to go back to the pier. I don't want to steal or beg. All right, the reality is I have to have a backup for a backup all my life because I don't want to be homeless again. All right, that's no fun. You got the ability, all right, to listen and learn, and I pray to God you do today. Now, if we're going to fix up a house, let's say in California as an example, the fix-up fees are about $83,000 plus. But unfortunately, we have a couple problems with a couple of you. I meet people every time. They say it every week. Ray, I didn't want to pay tax, so I did something here. You see, I call it playing peekaboo with the IRS. And every time I ask somebody, why would you do that? And you made a mess. I didn't want to pay tax. Let's understand something flat out. A corporation doesn't pay tax till it makes a profit. So the ones that did that, they have to get back in the system and do it right. So if you're one of those silly guys or girls that did that wrong, write down irs.gov. They have a forgiveness program. They have a 656 and a 433A and B. You see, currently you can't get your COVID-19 check. I need you to get your butt back in the system. Is that okay with you? So let's understand something today. To fix up that property, when I was a kid, people teased me all the time. You see, I'm the original OPM, other people's money. So this time the corporation's going to have 4 divisions. You ready to play? I want you to have one for carpet, appliances, fixtures, and wood. You see, we're going to go back to the manufacturer. I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. That's what the workshops are for, to save you up to 70%. Then on top of that, all right, when the property's fixed up and escrow sells the property and closes escrow, they're going to pay off all the debt. The ultimate goal is this. At the end of the day, you're going to have about, let's say, $200,000. Now, if you put that in your pocket and you kind of wasted it away, you'd be broke again. In the past, unfortunately, most people have taken $10,000 to $100,000 before, and they kind of wasted it away, and now half of you are broke today. All right, we don't want to do that anymore. Please write down Ray's rules. Write down leveraging money 84 ways. And then write down borrow money is not taxable. You see, there are rules. Everyone's been looking for a map. They're looking for the rules and the tools. That's what I'm for. So let's understand something. I need you to create the line of defense every time. As we do this, we have to talk about leveraging. There are so many ways to leverage money and credit, 84 ways, that we can turn it into millions and billions. So let's understand something. What if we took that $200,000 and put it in a CD? Then we set up basically a line of credit and a bank account. You see, at the workshops, I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. And what happens is now you create reference points. One of the greatest things about learning to play the game of business is remember something. Banks, they borrow from the feds times 10. Then they can loan back times 5 to us. And what happens is, I love the fact they have to say yes when they verify themselves. So if you set up the way I tell you to set it up, that's $600,000 of reference. Don't be surprised, they'll give you times 5. That's $3 million. Now, if we took $2 million of that and bought a McDonald's today, we'd have cash flow free per time, and borrow money is not what again? Taxable. But again, you have to listen, you have to learn. Write down the steps. Now, as a kid, when I had to steal and beg off the pier, that always scared me, flat out. I'm afraid to spend money. All right, I got to have a backup for a backup. Something can go wrong because I don't want to go back to the pier. I don't want to steal and beg. So I wanted a Rolex like everyone else had. All right, but so I didn't want to pay for it, but I wanted to get it for free. So I opened a division for jewelry. All right, instead of $89,000, it was $39,000 wholesale price. They overnighted the watch to me. I don't have to pay for it for 30 days. The next thing is I put a loan on the watch I did not own. From there, I paid the invoice when it came in. The difference I put in the bank and paid for the watch I did not own, and I got it for free at the end of the day. See, you got to realize there's many ways to play the game of business. So we got to look at this. Here's a customer. Now, he was a good guy, but then he kind of screwed up too. See, he won a lottery ticket for $1 million. When he won that lottery ticket, it was pretty simple. He called the office 16 times in a given day. They said, "Excuse me, sir. All right, you have to pay Ray for his time. He doesn't work for free, neither do you." See, I've been $3,000 an hour and $25,000 a day for 43 years. All right? He faxed over a letter. He faxed over a check. I finally called him up. "How can I help you?" "I won a lottery ticket for $1 million. Fantastic. I'm glad you did. What have I got to do with me?" "Well, I need you to help me because you're always on point." "Well, that makes sense, folks. I'm always on point, but I'm not going to work for free." He says, "I promise you, I will not rip you off. I've watched you. I'm part of your client. I've done everything you told me to do, and you're always on point, and you're blunt to the point." I said, "Okay, I'll trust you." I said, "I don't really want to trust you, but the reality is I just want you to put the money in the bank." And he did like everyone else. "What do you mean just put it in the bank?" "Reference it by 3. From there, they'll give him times 5. He did exactly what I said to do in the workshops. I held his hand on the phone step by step by step. They gave him $15 million of credit. He paid the tax on the $1 million he won the lotto. From there, he bought a couple of McDonald's. To this day, I'm waiting for my check. See, he took advantage of me, but the reality is I leave that to God, not me. I have to focus on my positive energy. Unfortunately, all of you have experienced someone in your friends or family, your network, they probably took advantage of you as well. The reality is we have to do this. You're going to have to beat your own doubt. Everyone who has a McDonald's a day is no different than you. They have it, you don't. You have to learn to believe it in here. And that's the biggest problem. In 2008, I did a billionaire group. We had 56 people. That's all. I wanted only 50 people at the time. I like smaller groups. It makes sense to me because we can network and help each other do this. We did create about $3.6 billion and have fun. Now this next one, it'll be my last one I ever do. It's August 14th, 15th, and 16th. That's it. Okay, haven't done another one since 2008. Don't want to do another one as well. There's 1,000 rules we're going to go step by step with. We're even going to record it, give basically who's in the boot camp the CD. Now, I'm going to hand each one of them $100,000 of cash credit. All right, that way we can teach them how to leverage some more. The ultimate thing is to teach them how to leverage that and create $300,000 of reference and get $1.1 million. See, the goal is you have to realize you're going to have to finance that dream. But when a corporation can finance it, get to write it all off. And that's the ultimate goal. That would create $1.5 million, up to that as well. You see, every bank does certificate of deposit loans. You got to learn how to play. That's why there's a workshop every Saturday, and you're stuck with me. You see, what I wanted you to do is allow me to repackage you. I want to repackage your whole life. So here's what's going to happen if you join that billionaire group. The whole year, level 1, 2, 3, and specialty classes, I want you to get them for free. Why? I can't afford you to mess this up. You see, I got a new TV and radio show starting next year, and I want you on the show. And I want you showing everybody what I did for you, and I want you to say, "Hey, I did it by Ray's rules." That's how it works. So I got to make sure I overhelp you. As I said, I'm $3,000 an hour, $25,000 a day. Have been for 43 years. But the people in the billionaire group, they're going to get 10 calls with me, just in case they get stuck. You got 877-519-7509. Now, I'm only allowing 10 people in the billionaire group, period. So guess what? You only have a couple left, and the time's running out. You see, I look at it this way. Millions to billions, see it, believe it, go get it. I've done that all my life. It's going to be up to you. You can do the same thing. If you allow me to repackage your whole life, I'll make sure you don't bring the pain home. But that's up to you. See, one of my first cars was a Lamborghini. Okay, and I love that car. But it's a company car, and we get to write it all off. I love cars, don't you see that? We have the ability to go get it from the corporate yachts, all right, the mansions and the Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and even the helicopters as well. I always park mine in the backyard. Where do you park yours again? See, it's up to you. I don't want you stocking the shelf. I want you owning the store. See, my clients own the store and tell people what to do. That's what I'd like to do for you. You see, There's always books I have to live by. First has to be the Bible. The next has to be the books that God created through me. You know, COVID-19 wiped out the credit hotline, their last office and warehouse, about almost 8 weeks ago. 80% of the employees went home to get the extra, unemployment check. Why work when they got a raise? That's what they told us. But 20% needed a space, so I gave them some space in an office I have. 1,000 rules are in the books we found out in their warehouse. They still had sets in the back we did not know. So they're normally going to go for $999. Today, if you sell it right away, it's $499. Not only are you going to get the 1,000 rules, we're going to give you the real estate system, the financial system too. All you got to do is Zelle, wire, or make a deposit. Now you're stuck with me 24/7. Won't that be fun? So let's understand something. I have a problem. If I help you, I feel obligated to over-help you. That's just how I made up. So the reality is that's how it is. So I don't want to give you a piece of the pie. I like to give you the whole pie. I want to make sure you understand the rules and the tools. So I want you to be there for 3 to 4 months at a time. Brainwash yourself using Ray's rules. Find your voice, become you. See, I had my mansions before the coma in 2009. I used to call this one God's gift. This is why I parked the race boats and the yacht in the backyard. It's simple. I like corporate helicopters, Lamborghinis, and buildings. It's kind of fun. Now, here's a problem that I see that most people do. I need you to write this down. It's Ray's rules. I want you to change your driver's license to a P.O. box or mailing address. And before you say anything, understand something. Every time you cash your check or use your debit card, all right, you get whipping out the card and saying, here I am. Sue me, take my house. What? You made yourself a duck. I want you to understand, you have the Driver's Privacy Protection Act ever since the Schaefer bill. You have to learn there's rules and tools. The last time you bought a car, I'm sorry to say you didn't listen to me. You didn't listen to me at all. I don't get it. I don't get it, I'm sorry to say. What you did is you allowed somebody with an ugly shirt and an ugly tie to sweat you, all right, for 2 hours. Please write down Ray's rules. I want you to do this my way from now on. You got it? So when they hand you a piece of paper and say, we need your permission to run your credit, you're going to fill it out like you normally do, but next to your signature, you're going to write down this allows one inquiry only. You're going to take a picture. I want you to step up to the plate. I want to make sure you don't bring the pain home ever again. So you got a choice. From now on, listen carefully. Every car will be at fleet price. I'm going to show you at the workshops how the corporation gets it to a tax ID. You get to drive the company car, the dream car you've always wanted, and write it off. You got to stop doing some of the things you do. I got to reprogram you. So I want you to think about something today. If today you're at the grocery store, you're at the bank, and you bump somebody's car, a little bumpity bump, I'm sorry to say they act like they got whiplash. What are they going to ask you for? Driver's license. What address you got on it? Now they know where to serve you. You're the duck. The insurance you've been paying for it out of your pocket. Taxable income when the corporation could have wrote it off. Registration. Who do they sue? They always sue the registered owner, which is you. Now what are they going to do? They're going to call one of those nasty attorneys on TV and they're going to sue you and take everything you got because you didn't listen to me. Please write down Ray's rules. I'm going to repackage everything you do in your life. You have no idea till you get to the workshops. So number one, I'm going to show you at the workshops that the registered owner from now on will be a division of a corporation. And then the lien holder will be the corporation itself. If you do it my way and you learn through the workshops with me, at the end of the day, they get diddly squat. I cannot have you messing up what I'm going to do for you as I get you to million to billion. So you got to overpackage you. So it's a choice. What are we setting up? The line of defense every time. Once again, I'd like you to Google the word trust today. In case we die, we don't get stuck into probate and somebody sues you, they can't take it away. It's up to you. See, I got to bulletproof you and your family. It's Ray's rules. All right, there's 20,000 of these to not to bring the pain home. July 3rd, 2009. I'm on top of the world. Don't have to work since I was 26. I decide, my wife says, hey, let's take people on the yacht. I took the corporate credit card. I took the yacht parked in my backyard. I said, fill it up. I get to write off the card and the interest rate. Do you get this yet? I get to write it all off. It was $1,600. Now, July 4th, 2009, we take them to go watch the fireworks, people from the school and the church. We have a great time. July 5th, there's me in a coma. I got H1N1, swine flu pneumonia. It changes your life. My life got destroyed. What am I supposed to do? Cry about it? No. My family needs to eat. So I have to do exactly what God gave me, the tools and the rules. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. So let's understand something. After the coma for 5 weeks, I walked around with an oxygen tank, learning how to breathe again. They even had to deliver tanks to the house. From there, I put my credit score back to an 820. I built millions of dollars of credit within 6 weeks. You cannot stay down. I have the rules, the tools, and the blueprint you've been looking for. And you're stuck with me in the classes. I don't pass the buck. God's using me to help you. Can you pay attention to this today? Let's understand something. I made a promise in that coma that I'd help people the rest of my life. I am praying for another 50 years. And one of the things I did, I named my daughter and my son after me. When I die, they'll take over the Reynolds University. My legacy will live on. What about you? What about your legacy? Is it going to be what you got when you were born? You got a choice. All I'm asking you for is 90 days. That's it. And I'll get you on your way to $1 million dream. I'll guarantee it. But again, I'm going to rebuild your credit, rapid refresh, credit lines, corporation my way, CDs, books, and classes, and you're stuck with me. I don't pass the buck. You know, I Googled the word corporate setup today. It was about $1,900. Some of you have a corporation. You probably did nothing with it because you don't know what's next. So I'd like to customize the articles, also as tax ID. Now I want you stuck with me. It's $999. Now, remember, I'm going to hand you the fish and teach you how to fish. So that means you have to be in the workshops for 3 months with me. I want you to master the rules and tools. Then I want you in level 1 for 90 days as well. See, level 1 teaches you how to set up the divisions, the line of defense. You got to master this so you don't bring the pain wherever again? Home. So both of those together is $998. So today I want to let you know, all right, if you want to invest $1,500 in yourself, you're stuck with me for 3 months. By the way, we're going to master the corporation and the divisions, create the line of defense, and today I'm going to hand you $5,000 of cash credit, almost 3 times what you invest in yourself. You got the ability to even refund yourself with the credit I give you. See, I want you to win. You have a Zelle, a wire, or a deposit. That's all we're going to do to expedite everything that I do for you. Now, they said it could not sink. The reality is it could not turn. Colonel Sanders didn't get his first $1 million check till he was 71. Thomas Edison didn't give up. A couple of you did. Please don't do that again. You know, they told Mr. Bannister, if you try to run the 4-minute mile, he's going to die. He told them all to go you know where. So the reality is he did it anyway. He did it his way. From here, you've got Ray's rules. Every time I turn around, I'm hearing the white man can't jump. I don't get that. You see, I accomplished every goal I've ever had and ever will. You see, I broke the record in 1981. I've been kicking the door jam since I was 10 and a half. And I used to even kick the basketball hoop, and they'd say, whoa. I didn't learn to jump. I learned how to fly. My biggest point at this point is very simple. I've accomplished every goal I've ever had by the time I was 26. So if you can touch it, you can kick it. In other words, you can reach the dream. You just have to get out of your own way. Now, it's really weird because I get 1 or 2 people once a month trying to give me a bad time. I always tell them to shut up and show up. The reality is I've been at the Marriott in Long Beach for 40 years. I've been teaching and preaching for 43. So you know what? Not everybody likes me. Not everybody likes you. So what are we supposed to do? Well, if they can crucify Jesus Christ, who are we? Your biggest problem is you, your lack of commitment. You've all wasted thousands of dollars, all right, and you've been looking for the rules and the tools. I'll offer to help you every step of the way. But you're going to have to get out of your own way and reach the dream. I want you to do like I do. You see, I think, and I'm always going to be the impossible. All right, Ray's rules. I've done it all my life. How you receive money today matters more than you ever saw in your life at all. Now, if you want $1 million paycheck, let me know. You're going to be able to keep $375. If you want $1 million in the corporation, you get to pay all the bills first, and then you pay the tax on the leftover. See, the structure is the tools and the rules. Now, Richard's a nice guy. He won Survivor the first show. He almost died twice on the show. He got $1 million check. He's supposed to keep $375 and give the IRS the rest. Instead of that, he spent all the money. All right, and they put him in prison for 3.5 years. He didn't listen to me. Would you please today listen to me? Give me 90 days. I'll change your life. I'll guarantee it. See, motivation's never enough. You need the rules and the tools. At the end of the day, I want you to master Ray's rules. That's why God gave them to me to give them to you. We all have a story to tell at the end of the day. I'd like to get you an 820 credit score. I'd like to hand you $100,000 of safety credit for your family. Put it aside. I don't want you to do anything else besides get a corporation and divisions through me. I'd like to get you up to $1 million of credit. Now, if you don't listen to me, I'm sorry, you're going to stay stuck. Please understand what's next is Ray's rules. Let's keep you unstuck every time. Beating your own doubt. Everyone who owns a McDonald's today is no different than you. Remember, I got one left on the private billionaire boot camp. From there, it's all gone. I'm not going to do another one now. It's my last one. So you got August 14th, 15th, and 16th. You're going to receive a CD after the class, handing you $100,000 of credit. You can learn how to leverage it some more. You're going to learn how all banks do certificate of deposits. And then you're going to be in level 1, 2, 3 in private and specialty classes. I can't afford you to screw this up. I want you on my TV and radio show next year. I'm even going to give you 10 phone calls with me. So you got 877-519-7509. I'm only going to let 10 people in. It's almost sold out, but that's up to you. You see, it's called Millions to Billions. See it, believe it, go get it. As you got to do this. Remember, I want to repackage your whole life. I want you to do it my way. So if you're watching me on Google, Facebook, or YouTube, you're missing the complete overview with me. You might think about go to rayswebinar.com and get the complete overview. Now, what I'm about to tell you, I learned at 7.5 years old. I learned a corporation's a legal person that may sue or be sued. Now, I'm not here to give you legal advice. That's just Chapter 18. As we do this correctly and do it my way since 1986, as I designed the word divisions, and they'll set up the line of defense. Again, a corporation today, all right, all the setup in 90 days of classes with me, and divisions, $1,500. Top of that, I'm going to hand you $5,000 of cash credit. All you got to do is Zelle, wire, or deposit it today, and then you're stuck with me. Basket. You have the ability to listen and learn as long as you follow through. Remember, please, plan on problems. Plan on it. Okay? Don't say it's a surprise. There's always something that goes wrong. You got to plan on that too. Safety, credit, the line of defense. Write it down. The ability. Now, why are you going to do a corporation? Because you're going to do it because I told you to do? No, you're going to do it for this reasons. Why? Buffer tax, corporate credit, buy a car at fleet price, stay at hotels at corporate rates. Why a division? Line of defense. All right, they're cheap. Multiple functions, buy at wholesale price. Multiple credit reports, real estate, separated pieces, something goes wrong. The ability to set up a corporation in the divisions, creating the line of defense. So I got to start you right out here. I got to get you an 820. I got to make sure you're a qualified CFO. All right, hand you a $1,000 credit card. All right, cash for $4.99. You Zelle, you wire, you deposit. From here, I created something for you today. It's called Millionaires in the Making Workshop. Step 1. I combined a bunch of pieces for you. In other words, credit rebuilding, rapid rescore, corporate articles, officers list, tax ID. Setup class, how to set up the corporation, master the rules and tools for 90 days. And level 1, set up the line of defense called divisions. From there, analyze you twice. It's normally $3,995. Today, listen very carefully, it's $2,999 today. But I'm going to hand you $25,000 of cash credit. I want to hand you 7 times more than you invested in yourself back in credit. I want you to realize something today. You can increase the credit line as well. All you got to do is Zelle, wire, or make a deposit. I want 90 days from you. That's all I need. From here, don't worry, you'll stay in the workshops the rest of your life because I have clients that have done it since 1977. Receiving money every month, pay all your bills, drive the company car, go on a business trip, help other people, free up your time. You've got to master, set up the line of defense, and master raise rules. These are the rules and tools you've been looking for. Millionaires in the Making today, $2,999. You get $25,000 of cash credit. You Zelle, you wire, you make a deposit. Now you're stuck with me. Don't forget, I broadcast twice a day, Monday through Friday, and all day Saturday, the classes. You're stuck with me because I don't pass the buck. Nobody does anything in the classes but me. I'm going to personally hold your hand, and I'm going to repackage your whole life. I don't want you bringing the pain home ever again. Don't forget, at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Saturdays, I'm the one who gives you your status updates. I might ask you to do 1 or 2 things, but then you're stuck with me. I'm doing 98% for you. All you got to do is show up. So let's understand something today. We got to stay safe and strong. Simple. All right, today we find ourselves sitting and waiting for what's next to come. Let us always remember life is a gift from our Father in heaven. God has given us the opportunity to believe and receive. Let us make the best of the day and give thanks in every way. Thank you, Jesus, for one more day. Amen. God gave me the rules. We've all been there. You've all been knocked down. All right, I had to steal and beg off a pier. But I was smart enough that God gave me the brain to create the rules and tools for all of us. All you got to do is understand something today. There's 20,000 rules to set up a multi-million-dollar company. No one's different than you. You have the ability to listen and learn. You got the phone number 877-519-7509. Building relationships and dreams. And at the end of the day, this is a profit company. So please write down 877-519-7509. And don't ever forget, at the end of the day,